Hello everyone and welcome. Today we will be discussing the new Simple Syllabus tool and how to set up your Simple Syllabus, including what is expected for the instructors to complete as well as what is already completed for you. We will also be discussing the course navigation on the left-hand side, particularly the moving of syllabus and institutional policies to an area where the students can no longer view it, and moving Simple Syllabus to the spot where the syllabus button was formerly sitting. The first thing we'll do to address the left navigation menu is click the settings button at the very bottom in the left-hand corner of your Canvas course. Once we've gone into the settings menu, ensure that the navigation tab at the top in the middle is selected, and from here we can adjust the course navigation to move things that we no longer need outside a student's view. The first thing we'll do is move the syllabus button down outside of the student's view, which is done by clicking the three dots on the right-hand side of the item we would like to move and clicking the disable button. We will also do the same with institutional policies. We can verify that they have been moved outside student view by scrolling down and finding them within this tab. Finally, we'll move Simple Syllabus up to the top just underneath Home, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and select the Save button. From here, we can now access the Simple Syllabus button. Upon first entering your Simple Syllabus, you'll be met with a screen where you can edit the Simple Syllabus. The first component is the course name, which can be found at the very top in the middle. Additionally, it will say the course name on the right-hand side, the CRN, and the semester that you're teaching in. On your syllabus, it should also say Butler Community College on the left-hand side, as well as the division that you are teaching under on the left-hand side underneath Butler Community College. Next up for information that will be automatically populated based on the course outline is the course description. Following that, we have the Butler Assessed Outcomes, the Learning Pack Statement, Learning Pack Skills, MSAT, Computer Use Expectation, Student Engagement Expectation, and finally, the institutional policies. Again, all of this information will be populated based on the course outline and will not be editable by the instructor. Regarding information that is required for the instructor to complete, we first have the class information. The CRM will automatically be populated within this box here. Any changes you would like to make can be made by clicking in the box, entering any information you would like, and clicking outside the box. Any information entered in this table will auto-save for you. Next up, we have instructor information, where the majority of our information will be transported directly from our profile. If any changes are needed to be made, you can do so by clicking the Edit button, which is the pencil icon, and making the changes within this particular section. You can also add additional information and office hours, again by clicking in the corresponding box where you'd like to add information and clicking outside of it. When we've added any information in this table, we can click the Save button, and any changes will be reflected in this particular component. Please note that any changes made in this component will not reflect within your profile and will only be applied to this particular course. Required materials are a required component to be completed before submitting the syllabus. You can add materials in two different ways. The first is manual entry, where you'll enter in the title, ISBN, author, edition, publisher, and publication date if you're using a conventional textbook. You can also add a thumbnail by clicking the Add Image button and browsing your computer to find an image, or linking a URL and saving. Once you've completed this section, click the Save button. You can also add unconventional materials, or OERs, by simply entering in all the information you have for them. For instance, I am adding paintbrushes, so I will add the title of the paintbrush in the title box. I will leave the rest of it blank, and I can insert an image of that particular paintbrush in the thumbnail section. Once I've done that, I can click Save and see that the changes I've made are applied to the required materials component. Additionally, you can use the embedded search engine, which links to Google search, to find textbooks, enter the name of the textbook you would like to find, search through the results, and select the textbook that corresponds to your particular needs. Be aware that this does use Google search and not Butler Library, so it is important that you check that the ISBN listed is correct. If it is not, please make any changes that are necessary to enter the correct information before clicking the Save button. Supplemental materials are added in the same way, though they are not required for completion of the syllabus. To add new materials, click the pencil icon and enter in any of the ways listed in the required materials component. If you are not using supplemental materials, you can use the visible and invisible toggle to hide this from student view. Be aware that when it says invisible, the students will not be able to see it. However, the instructor will always be able to see this particular component. Methods of grading and evaluation will be the next component needed to be completed by the instructor. Grading components and grading scale will be the two tables that are auto-populated in this box. Items and percentages will be your two auto-populated columns, along with total and a 100%. From there, you can enter in any information needed to complete this table. Additionally, you can also change this value to points and enter in all of the totals and groups by points. In the grading scale, it will auto-populate with an A through F scale based on the 90 to 100 scale. You can make any changes you need to within this component. For instance, if your scale is 93 to 100 and so on and so forth, you can make this change, and please be sure to reflect the change all throughout the entire table. Changes made to any part of the table are done simply by clicking within it and entering the information necessary before clicking out of it. In this table and this entire component, all changes made will be saved automatically. You can also add any additional lines to the table by clicking within any row, going over the row button, clicking the drop down, and choosing to insert a row above or below. You can also delete a row if necessary. Next up, we have the manual entry class schedule, where you are able to enter the week, date, and learning activity, much like what was done in the Salsa syllabus. You can also add new lines if necessary by clicking the Add New Item button, and delete lines as necessary by clicking the Trash Can button. Any changes made within this table will save automatically. You also have an auto-populating class schedule, where Simple will sync directly with Canvas and pull any assignments listed within Canvas into this class schedule. Please note that if your due dates are not set up prior to the initial sync between Canvas and Simple, it will populate the schedule. However, the due dates will not be in order, and you will have to reorder it simply by grabbing and dragging to the proper place. Please note that if you also delete an assignment within Canvas, you will have to come over into Simple and manually delete the assignment by clicking the Trash Can button. Each time Simple is open, it will auto-sync with Canvas and repopulate any added assignments or changes in due dates within this class schedule. However, please note that you still will have to rearrange based on the new due dates. You are not required to use both of these schedules, however, you are required to use one or the other. If you would like to use the manual class schedule, but not the auto-populating class schedule, please mark this schedule as invisible so the students will no longer see it, or vice versa. The two final components that are left for the instructor to complete are the instructor policies, as well as the departmental policies. Instructor policies will be auto-populated with attendance, late makeup assignments, and drop. Add any additional policies within this box if you would like to. Departmental policies can be added by typing any information in the box or copy and pasting your former department policies into the box. Once we've completed the syllabus, we simply click the Submit button and wait for confirmation that the syllabus has been completed by a showing of these several share links. We're given an option to copy the syllabus URL, a PDF version, or an embedded link, or we can close. Finally, we will be presented with a student view of our syllabus. Additionally, you can import directly from another syllabus that has already been completed and published within Simple by clicking the Replace with a Different Syllabus button, sorting by the semester, and choosing the proper syllabus that you would like to import from. Once you select the syllabus, it will automatically begin the import. Once it is complete, all changes will be reflected within this syllabus. The only changes that will not be made are to the CRN and anything that is pulled directly from the course outline. Once the import is completed, all we have to do is verify everything, scroll down to the bottom, and click the Submit button again. Thank you, and have a great day.